I'm Ken Merson. Now, more of WCBM's #1 weekend.
WCBM. Big girls don't cry.
The Merson Person.
You and WCBM.
5:07, 68 WCBM payroll game time with the Merson Person on a #1 weekend. All weekend long, nothing but #1 records. The cream of the crop, the top pop, the greatest hits of all time for you from 68 WCBM. 104, #1 for the Jackson 5. J5. Well, we'll work on it, friends. 5:10 WCBM payroll game time. The Ken Merson Person with the WCBM #1 weekend. On our payroll right at this very moment, even as we speak, folks, Debbie Eckes of Baltimore has been on the payroll for 7 hours, $47.60 in the bank, and a possible $6.80 additional after 6 o'clock when Elliot in the AM plays the game for the first time today. If you haven't played, well, don't wait. Send in a postcard or an entry blank with your name, address, and telephone number to Payroll Game, WCBM 68 Radio Plaza, Owings Mills, 21117. You, my friend, will find out for sure that it pays to listen to us.
This weekend before the elections, we're here with Millard Whipple, a collector of campaign buttons.
Here's one for you.
Don't be sorry, vote Volare.
I've got a mandolin on you, have you?
Greatest hits of all time. WCBM brings them back.
And remember, the Metro Media players are available for your church, organization, bar mitzvah, or supermarket opening. Daddy and the Juniors at the Hop from WCBM. Daddy and the Juniors can now be called Daddy and the Seniors. Well, you think about it for a while, friends. It makes sense. Increasing cloudiness through this afternoon, becoming cloudy with rain likely tonight and Sunday. High today, up in the 60s and the lower 60s tonight. 43 WCBM degrees.
Anytime wasting time.
Now let's whistle Dixie. Doesn't sound a bit like Dixie, does it?
No, it reminds me of... Almost lost my mind.
I think I have already. Otis Redding from WCBM's #1 weekend, 521. Payroll game time with Ken Merson. Unbeaten and 5th-ranked University of Maryland Terps are favored to be the winners by 11 points in their football clash with Kentucky today. We'll see if the odds makers are right. 1:30 is the start time for Maryland football from WCBM. Lots of the Maryland college football games today. There's Navy versus Notre Dame, Salisbury State's at Towson State, Moravian at Johns Hopkins, Western Maryland at Dickinson. That's where they have that sewage thing, I think. Maybe the team will be recycled. Frostburg State at Grove City, Pennsylvania, Liberty Baptist playing Bowie State, Morgan State at North Carolina, AT&T. I think it's A&T. I think there's a big difference there, friends. Fort Valley, Georgia, at Maryland Eastern Shore. And Wake Up Sioux at 6... Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong list. I'm sorry.
The Baltimore Ethical Society is a group. WCBM cares about Baltimore and you.
You've got the music through the night. 68 WCBM.
There's going to be a hot time in a big house tonight. WCBM remembers Elvis Presley.
Born through a party in the county jail. Been into the jail.
I've heard of prison reform, but that's ridiculous. Elvis movie music from WCBM's #1 weekend with the Merson Person, Shangri-La's, Hamilton, Joe Frank and Reynolds, and others coming up soon. Diana and the Supremes. $6.80 an hour. Hour after hour could be yours if you play the WCBM payroll game. First chance at the money this morning after 6 with Elliott in the afternoon. Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds. Rap.
Baby, baby, falling in love. I'm falling in love
A
again.
#1 record portion of August 1975 for Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds from WCBM's #1 weekend at the Merson Person with the Shangri-La's. And one of the wildest piano players ever.
Is she really going out with him?
And just think, it was just a little Sunday afternoon drive. And look what happened. It's a shame he had 7 more payments on the motorcycle. It's just terrible, friends. The Merson Person.
WCBM.
I'm just a lonely boy.
Holy Boy from WCBM's number one weekends, 5:36 WCBM payroll time. Debbie Eckes of Baltimore on the payroll, 7 hours credit, $47.60 and maybe more. A little bit after 6 when we play the payroll game with Elliot and the 6 o'clock hour. WCBM, we do it all for you with the payroll game.
This is Elliot in the afternoon. WCBM cares about Baltimore and you.
The best music, we play it all for you. WCBM.
Oh, you lucky devil. If you're a WCBM payroll game winner, the 10 o'clock hour, the Dave King Show, you'll win Marbella's fabulous 30-inch strand simulated pearl necklace enhanced by an elegant pearl and rhinestone clasp. Dave wears one all the time. That's an addition of $6.80 an hour, so keep listening for your chance to play the payroll game on WCBM. Marvin Gaye. From the end of 1968, well into 1969, one of the longest-running number ones in history. 7 weeks from Marvin Gaye's Heard It Through the Grapevine from WCBM's number one weekend. These are the Turtles.
Imagine me and you.
The Turtles happy together again on a WCBM number one weekend. Increasing cloudiness through the afternoon, becoming cloudy with rain likely tonight and Sunday. All joy. High today in the mid-upper 60s and into the lower 60s Sunday. It's clear. 6 Celsius, 43 WCBM degrees with Rick Dees and his cast of idiots.
To a party the other night.
Thank you so very much. He's a very nice duck who would say thank you. Rather pleasant poultry. Oh, Ducky, would you hold still while I pour in the orange sauce? WCBM, the number one weekend. That's Rick Dees and his cast of idiots, a recent number one. They're all number one all weekend long for you from WCBM. 5:46 payroll game time, 14 before 6 o'clock. Elliot in the AM at 6:05 with more of the greatest hits of all time.
This is Joe Knight. WCBM cares about Baltimore. You.
You got it. Number one music, WCBM.
WCBM with Al Green. Oodles of top 10 hits, but only one number one from 1972. Let's say it together. Well, I'll do the best I can. I mean, after all, it's been a long night, folks. Number one from 61, Pat Boone. One of the biggest and best from 1961 for Pat Boone, Moody River. At this hour of the morning, I can understand why I'd be upset. 5:52, 8 before 6 o'clock, WCBM payroll game time with Merson Person. WCBM reminds you to think safety this Halloween. Check all treats carefully before allowing them to be eaten. WCBM cares about Baltimore and you.
You've got the greatest hits of all time on 68 WCBMs. You've got it all just by listening to WCBM.
Greatest hits of all time, WCBM. Hey, hey, hey,
WCBM reminds you if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make an ugly woman your wife. Yeah, she can cook. Because she looks like a tap in rain. I'm the Merson Person. We'll see you Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Creek Don't Rise and the sponsors don't cancel. Elliot to the AM is next with the Everly Brothers, the Righteous Brothers. This is a family reunion. Bernard Black and a host of others for you. And the number one weekend continues after 6 from 68 WCBM.